Hello there. Welcome back to Elements in Focus. So grateful to have you here today. And as we go through the critical element of investment playbook, I'm going to be covering with us today investing in renewable energy, a topic that was very much on everyone's mind quite a few years ago and resurfacing for some very specific reasons. So we're going to dive into those today. Often I have here other members of the team, whether it be partners or other advisors, walking through these topics. Today, fortunately or unfortunately, you get me alone. So I could ramble on for a little while, but I will do my best to make it short and sweet and to the point. So when we talk about investing in renewable energy, just to dive right in, what are we really getting at? Well, in the past, as past administrations were trying to work themselves through getting individuals to focus on putting dollars into building infrastructure, right into renewable energy sources. You can do that through things like the tax code. So you have businesses, but give them tax breaks and credits in order to focus, especially when it came to big oil companies, were focusing their energies and resources into creating renewable energy um, platforms, etc. And there are ways for us to invest in some of those things. And it came in, well, also looking at 401k plans, we had a unique twist in ESG investing. We've covered some of those topics. I won't get all into that in just here. But when we look at ESG and we talk about like, okay, taking responsibility for our investments and what that does to the environment, to culture, etc. You can invest in some of those renewable energy sources, say that 10 times fast, in some of those platforms in your qualified retirement plan as well. But for individuals, I'm going to take this and twist it a little bit because when it comes to investing in specific renewable energy platforms that can affect you, there's things that we can do as individuals, right? Investing in these platforms add value to physical assets. I'm going to focus really on homes at this point. And that is you can buy things like solar panels and get great tax credits based on your income and really focus on providing yourself sustainable energy, creating increase in physical asset value like a home, etc. Now they are expensive to implement. That's why some of those tax credits are really important. But I think part of increasing property value, part of increasing the ability to step away from certain grids, which people admire, that's a great way to invest in renewable energy. If you're looking at ways to do it, like I said, inside of investments, the 401k plans with ESG platforms have become very popular, but also don't forget about private equity. So if your team that you currently have, or you're doing this on your own, and you have not looked at addressing things like private equity, I really implore you to take a look at some of those things. So what do I mean by private equity? Well, what's interesting is about 80 plus percent of the world that we can invest our money in today actually does not show up on the ticker roll on CNBC. What do I mean by that? I mean that most of the companies that operate, pay income tax, create GDP for the United States of America aren't actually trading on a public market. They're trading in a private market. And really up until about a couple years ago, maybe 5 to 6 years ago, the average investor, us, wasn't really didn't have the resources to walk up to these institutions like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan and say, "Hey, I've got $4 or $5 million. I want to enter in this private equity space. Can you build me something?" Now today, we as the average investor can go and do that with a much smaller sum of money, sometimes as low as $25,000, to say, "I would like to participate in renewable energy." And you can actually find organizations, managers of funds that will take your resources and go deploy those in things like solar panels, batteries, right? All think of all the renewable resource or energy resources, nuclear power plants, which are coming back, which is interesting. And so one of the things that you'll often hear from our market carver, which is the our chief investment officer and some of our portfolio managers talking about some of the things that are going on in the economy and the stock market, you'll hear them talk about things like uranium, right? Why uranium? Well, nuclear power plants, renewable energy, and energy that's kind of walking away from itself, from fossil fuels, etc. So a very in-depth concept, a very great discussion. So I appreciate people asking about it to have it be discussed. I'll cover more of this in my article as well. But when you're looking at renewable energy investing, think about what you can do in your private space. Think of your home. Think about investing in your 401k through ESG investing if you have a good large platform that offers it. Think about private equity, right? And also think about things that run ancillary to renewable energy like uranium, right? Like other things that go into making batteries, mineral deposit mines, etc. Those are ways you can really get your arms wrapped around this if it's something that's meaningful and you want it inside of your portfolio. So again, love questions, love getting into this with individuals. The investment playbook is a critical part of what we do. And we love talking about the investment strategies and the potentials for families. So if you have not talked to anyone about any of the items that we've covered here today, please give us a call. 800-928-4001. If renewable energy investing is something you want to engage in, please reach out to us. If you're not a family already, please connect for your next steps meeting. Complimentary, of course. We'll kind of walk through your portfolio and talk through how we can enter some of these pieces in there if it's what you desire. And you can just ask simple questions. Talk to FEG at yourlifeafterwork.com. More than happy to walk you through this. And then also, if you're looking just for other content, maybe this has sparked intrigue about who we are and what FEG Financial Enhancement Group does, please, at yourlifeafterwork.com, you can see a very large library of content we've been creating for a very long time on similar subjects. And you can even walk through even deeper what some of our critical elements are, if those are elements that you want to engage in. So again, if you're looking for how to invest in renewable energy and what that looks like for your specific situation as you're growing into or entering your life after work, which is affectionately retirement, please give us a call. 800-928-4001. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, because I know you're spending a lot of it doing other things. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks. Take care.